Kate Brooks' MO as executive producer of Coronation Street, she told everybody how there was going to be a lot of shock, a lot of chaos, and they were going to try to subvert a lot of expectations. Now, when they brought back Rob Donovan, who most famously took the life of Tina McIntyre, whenever you bring him back, he's always going to have that criminal edge as he's still paying for the actions he committed years and years ago. But when they did it, in a way, to bring him back amid Carla's kidney storyline, we're wondering how exactly this was going to go. So, with that said, now it's time to look forward as to what's just been announced by the Daily Mail, is that another character is set to leave, but this time in what seems to be a absolutely brutal exit storyline. Coronation Street character set to face a brutal death in gripping new storyline. Let me just get rid of all these. That's just me making a thumbnail. Coronation Street bosses are reportedly cranking up the tension with a shocking twist as one character will be gunned down. So yes, he was shot with a gun. After escaping from prison, Rob Donovan is set to unleash chaos on the iconic street, according to The Sun. Played by Mark Bayliss, Rob will kidnap his sister, Carla Connor, portrayed by Alison King, which will trigger a deadly confrontation. The suspense culminates in a devastating shooting and a life lost. Now, if people don't remember, the last time I believe there was a shooting like this was when Harvey Gaskell, the kind of like the current like crime boss, when he escaped, he had a gun and he was looking for Leanne, but in the end he gunned down Natalia, Nick's ex, Sam's mum. I forget who she's called, but she's been in a lot of soaps. But yes, and she lost her life too in what was a pretty tragic exit because both dressed up as Morticia Adams. So I'm not going for her as for Halloween. A TV insider told the publication viewers will be on the edge of their seats as gripping hostage ordeal followed by cold-blooded murder unfold. No one is safe from the peril and havoc Rob is set to unleash. Or, I mean, let's just look into this. If we had to imagine, we have to imagine the characters who may die will either be involved with Carla in some way, so Betsy, Lisa, Ryan, Bobby, or they'll be the coppers. They'll be Craig, Kit, Lee, and Lisa once again is all in all. So with that, I will likely go through the names and who I think are at risk in this scenario, because it was always going to be an interesting one. Because yes, Rob did kill Tina, and he pretty coldly killed Tina, and he paid for the actions. But it was always an angle like, is it sympathetic still? Can you still like the character of Rob considering what he's done? And the answer is no. And when they brought him back, it was like, oh, he's back. And then he's shown on the cobbles, like, oh, he's back. And then it's like, whoa, okay, this is going to be big. And then you get to see his first scenes with Bobby and his scenes with Carla, where you see that there's more than meets the eye. So, yes, there will be him bunking up with the prison guards. And it was always teased that prison hasn't been too kind to Rob. He's had a pretty rough time in there. And all in all, this means that he's probably developed in ways that you wouldn't like. And he's probably had quite a bad upbringing, or a bad, like, last couple of years as such. So it was always going to be interesting to see which way they took his character, is what I'm trying to say. It was always going to be interesting to see which way they took Rob's character. And with him being deeply invested in Carla getting the kidney transplant, it only felt like a matter of time that he was going to try escape, and the rest was going to be history. But now, with that news that someone is going to die, as no one is safe from the peril and havoc Rob is set to unleash. And as said before, one character will be taken down. And then just some more stuff about Rumours. 6 cast members left, as we've talked about. German plummeting rating recently lost its most watched TV soap crown at Emmerdale. Really? Damn. That's impressive, honestly. Soap Insider admitted there are big changes afoot for the soap. However, they insisted the show is in no way on the brink of collapse, with an array of exciting and dramatic plotlines planned. Corrie's vision for the future show has secured its place on screens for years to come. Fans can ignore any idea that within a decade soap will be gone, because it's in no way in brink of a collapse. It is really a one door closes and another opens, and some familiar faces could be leaving, but others will be back, and new faces could just be what the show needs. And those are all the people who have so far officially left. Other actors have vented their fury on a WhatsApp group of fears they could be next. And it says that Coronation Street fell out of the tip. It used to be the crown jewel. Now it's no longer. But still, fundamentally, something stars feel will be written off the show to keep established stars like Bill Roach and Jack Shepherd on board. A source says there's a WhatsApp group where people have been pinging about messages about concerns with the act will fall next. It's a tough time on soap and it's filtering down. There's a feeling more people will be cut to save money and to keep the best paid stars like Bill Roach and Jack P. Shepherd on board. The Insider added that cast members also complained about long working hours. They added, filming is tough. One person moaned they were working like dogs. The day of bumper pay are gone. So, yeah, all in all, yes, Coronation Street is going to go on some changes, but no, it's not going to die. Coronation Street is doing just fine. It's just they need to try and adapt to the modern medium while still struggling to cope with not having the best output over the last couple of years. Now, let's head up to here. So, all right. I suppose now we can just speculate. Now we can just do a bit of speculation. All right, so let's speculate who it could possibly be. As I said before, it is likely that it'll be someone close to Carla, right? It'll be someone close to Rob, if you had to guess. Or it's someone unexpected who gets caught in the crossfire. And the woman was called Natasha. It was Natasha who died. I'm glad I got there in the end. So, fundamentally, so as said before, I'll just recap the names who are most likely to be involved in this. Carla, Lisa, Betsy, Ryan, Bobby, and then probably Craig, Kit, and once again Lisa in terms of the coppers. I could be missing out a name, but that to me feels like the most likely people, and perhaps Tracy. Perhaps Tracy is also involved, but I doubt Tracy. There's no way Tracy gets killed off. And the people who I think are safe: Tracy, Carla, Swain, and Betsy. I think all of them are safe. And that's why, if I had to predict who is going to be killed off in such a way, it's probably going to be Bobby. It's going to be Bobby, honestly. That's my take on who dies in this shooting. It's Bobby. I mean, let's take a look at the character trajectory. Bobby, who is played by, Jack O'Connell, I believe is the name, or roughly. I keep messing it up all the time, but, former Britain's Got Talent comedian, brought into the show, over about a year and a bit now. And he's been on the show, and they initially said, look, he's going to be really heavily involved in one of these big storylines of the year, and that was going to be the Lauren storyline. And he was involved up to a point, then they decided, yeah, this isn't really working for us. You're not really nailing the serious stuff, are you, Bobby? And it's like, okay, you know what? We'll refocus. We'll do the comedy. Are you doing the comedy? Not really, no. And, how's the public perception of Bobby? Yeah. Woo! And all in all, it's just kind of it's been a struggle. It's been up struggle street. And then, even then, so he's had his scenes with Rob, and they've been okay, but they've not been great, and it's average at best. But all in all, if you could describe Bobby's time on the show, it has just been, he is trundling on by. He's not got any momentum at any point in time, and fundamentally, he isn't a great character at all in any way, shape, or form. That's why I think there is a high chance Bobby dies. Why? Well, because it would be another person that Rob would have to deal with the grief of killing. This time it would be his son, someone who was arguably one of his biggest supporters. I think that's probably the smartest and most reasonable decision in this. And, you know, it would make the character feel a bit... You know how when a character's garbage and they just leave in a terrible exit, no one thinks about him again? But if Bobby's killed off by Rob in like an accidental shooting or a cold-blooded shooting, maybe that'll add a bit of gravitas to the character and reflect on him a little bit better. In terms of characters who also might be at risk, I have two other names for you. I think Ryan Connor is also probably at risk, simply because he's been on the show for a long time now. And, well, I say long time. In terms of Corrie, it means nothing. But he's been on the show at least like a decade now, roughly. And he is a safe pair of hands. He is a good character, and he's a good, somewhat background character who occasionally gets the spotlight, like the acid attack storyline, the relationship with Daisy, and the relationship with Alia. He is a good, safe pair of hands. I personally really like the Ryan character. I wish he did more. But also, I don't think they'll kill Ryan off, simply because with Debbie's dementia storyline going ahead, there's no way they kill Ryan off. Ryan's one of the closest people to Debbie, and her relationship with Ryan probably really did shave off some of the edges and make her a lot more likable in the last couple of years than she did when she was initially reintroduced. So, fundamentally, I think Ryan is fine. And for the other one, which is just kind of a Hail Mary as such, possibly Craig Tinker, the copper. He will likely be on the scene and likely be involved, and if there's anybody who might get killed off, Craig and the Tinkers, the project is over. I doubt Beth. I doubt Beth is... I'm pretty sure Beth is a Sutherland, but regardless. Or a different name, I don't know. Lisa George, regardless. I doubt she's ever being brought back, and I could easily see, amid their plan to shock and subvert expectations, I could easily see Craig being killed off in the firing line, on the job, and he would die as he lived. What do I think about this storyline? I mean, look, I know everybody's been doomsaying about Coronation Street for a while, and I know I kind of go in and out, and I did that tongue-in-cheek video saying Coronation Street's on fire, and it's because it was literally on fire, which I thought was very funny, personally, but, you know, we all have different senses of humour. Point being, I like what they're trying to do. I think they've tried to make this year of Coronation Street must-watch. Has it necessarily... They've zigged more than they've zagged, and the juice hasn't been worth the squeeze. As one of you noticed, that's a me phrase. But they're still trying to make Coronation Street a really exciting, don't get too complacent, and it's what Kate Brooks said. We don't want everybody to get complacent. We want everybody to be on the edge of their seats. We want to subvert expectations. We want to create chaos. And what better way to start off a year when multiple people have been announced to leave, that you start killing people off left and right. It's what Hollyoaks did, and Hollyoaks has somewhat managed to steer the course and have somewhat managed to re-establish itself as a must-watch soap in the year of our Lord 2025. So, do I think it will be as good as it should be with the, substance, with the gravitas that a lot of these characters have? No, I don't think so. The fire was a dud. It was, someone should have just put a lid over the candle, Oh, bloody hell, there's no oxygen here. Away. That's a terrible joke, but regardless. The point being, though, the point still being, and it's going to sound like wanky shill nonsense, but they are trying. They're trying to make it more akin to car crash TV, which, yeah, sure, we don't necessarily want, because some people believe the sensationalizing of storylines are what has put it in such a bad place. But still, you want, if you're gonna try at least reshape the show and stop where people are getting tired of all the nonsense, maybe you do shake it up with a bunch of cast calls, and you get a couple of deaths in there, and you suddenly make it so you're actively kind of worried for your favorite characters, because there may be a chance that they end up dying. It's an interesting angle to take the show. Once again, I think there will be a definite build-up period to it. I don't think we're seeing the best of Kate Brooks. I don't think we're seeing the best of the writers as of now. But still, this is a way to make people watch Coronation Street. And even if it may be doing occasionally more harm than good, still, with all that said, you have to acknowledge that at least they're trying something different. Just like how I said Bobby's character was trundling along, Coronation Street's been trundling along for a good couple years now, not putting out its best, and people are saying it's the worst it's ever been, which I don't think is true, and people are saying it's been awful, abysmal, terrible, etc., all the words, all the hyperbole, but still, now they're trying to reshape what Coronation Street looks like in 2025. And that it is going to be a transition period. A lot of these characters are leaving. New faces coming in, new faces seemingly coming back, and characters who may not have had so much of a shine, once again being put up on this pedestal, trying to establish them as the new generation. So, can I fault them for doing these dramas? No. Do I enjoy this approach more than them just, It's the idea that some of these characters are leaving anyways, so just kill them. Maybe not the best characters, maybe not Rob, don't kill off Rob for the potential if he ever returns. But Bobby, you can kill off Bobby. You can do anything to him. What's he supposed to do? What serious storyline is Bobby ever gonna get? Nothing. He's awful. And the actor's tried, he's tried his best, but sometimes even Coronation Street is standards for acting. That's a bottom if you're an audio listener. So I think it is a creative way to get rid of characters that are going to be leaving anyways, and some of these characters are the short-term characters you've introduced in the last year or two, and ultimately are characters that even if they did leave, probably were never going to come back. So I think that's the best way to do it, and it sets up for more of an interesting way to show that Rob has gone too far. Maybe he'll even hand himself in again and serve out his time and start to realize maybe I should actually start working on myself and start trying to pay for my actions, because if I keep going like this, I'm either going to die or be dead. I know that's the same thing and kind of redundant, but shh. But yeah, so who do you think dies in this shooting? tell me in the comment section down below, do you like this version of Coronation Street? Do you think it's heading in the right direction? Or are you still reticent to let it go? I don't know. Tell me in the comment section down below. I've been Ash from Watching Walford. See you in the next one. Bye bye, 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 bye.